cannot like criticize the army for arresting or detaining someone, but the query is, has that person gained?
But it's on record, the council Erias Lukwago was trying to serve the CDF, and that's where what came out for him, and he said, you can't serve me.
You know, one of our great generals here said that we should leave the matters of the generals to the generals. Because now,
but now
according
it,
to the
out,
according,
it comes out your side on a person who is practicing law, who is a lawyer.
That's why I'm heading.
I don't want to say, because I'm not sure if it is a political shift, but in an instance where they want to attack a person using the law, it can happen. Because at the time when they want the law back, they can have it the way they want it. I am not sure if it is targeting Broderson, and if it is targeting the leader of opposition, then I am not happy with it.
I would love to distance myself from the CDF because sometimes I doubt what I see on social media, whether it really comes from him. Okay. But the fact that now we are discussing the Parliamentary Administration Act.
The Twitter handle is his.
Yeah, me as an individual, I have no proof.
Amendment is coming after the recent elections. So I don't know why people are putting it on the negative side. Yet even before, we've had several enactments in the same act, but people were not criticizing those acts. So to me, this amendment, it is a reform.
A reform.
It's a reform.
And specifically the parliament is for legislation. I want to concur with Honorable Dennis Namara as a legislator. It is his role. He has the right to push any motion as long as he can push for it and they vote for it legally. And I actually appreciate him because as much as we say now people are not following the law, I appreciate him that he is pushing what he wants through legislation, meaning he's not taking the laws into his hands. And into the contents of the motion he's moving, he says he wants the leader of opposition to be voted for by all the members of opposition. And previously, the status quo is that currently, the leader of opposition comes from a party that has the largest numbers of MPs. That is the opposition party.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at MJD Build Africa. My name is Onesmus Mshemeza. This is a new face today. I'm hosting big people to discuss matters of national importance. They are really interested in the current affairs of this country. Before I make my way to allow them to introduce themselves, I would just request that one who is watching us and has not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and hit that button, subscribe. More is coming. Yeah, stay tuned. Allow me introduce my guests that are joining me here on today's episode, beginning from my right arm here. I will begin with a very big person. I will allow him, a big counsel. I will allow him to introduce himself. So you can introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Onesmus, and good evening, good afternoon, good morning, the viewers, depending on where you are. You recognize we could be different areas. My name is Erias Lukwago Major, the immediate first girl president of Kampala International University, main campus. I'm also an author, especially of the Winds of Change, and I'm a member of the National Executive of Africa Creative Students Organization. And as well, I am into the legal profession and many others. I am very glad to be here this evening.
Thank you, His Excellency Erias Lukwago Major. Thank you for joining us today. You had yourself a very big CV. He has made time to join us on our podcast today to discuss matters of national importance. On his right arm, a very big person there. I will allow him to introduce himself too.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Onesmus. It's a privilege being with you on this platform today. And my name is Rujumba Charles. A very simple Ugandan, an African, And I've always said, an African everywhere, or a citizen everywhere. I'm privileged to be here with you guys on this platform, especially when I see my senior colleagues here. Some of them are my great leaders, and we have so much hope in them. Others I see they are very big, upcoming legal practitioners. They may be in practice now, but ahead where we're going, they are very big people. I see the substitutes of Martha Karua, the Lukwagos, as they are aging now. We are seeing new energy coming in. And thank you so much for hosting me, and I will be glad to share my views with you.
It's a pleasure. And on the right end, we are glad today we are joined two Lego minds, two important big people, two Lego minds that will allow the senior counsel at the right end to introduce himself too.
Okay, thank you, moderator, Mr. Ambassador Onesimus. It's a privilege to be here in MJD Build Africa. And good evening to all our viewers, prestigious viewers on MJD Build Africa. So my name is Abba Fred. I'm also in the legal profession. I'm so delighted to be here on this
Podcast.
podcast. Sorry. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we are here to discuss matters of national importance. And today on our table, it is something that has been making news, that has made news since last week. We are discussing a matter of the leader of opposition, the Amendment Act, the Parliament's Amendment Act. We saw members of Parliament, particularly Honorable Namala Dinesh, the Member of Parliament for Buyaga West. This week, he made a step to introduce, to seek leave from Parliament to introduce an Amendment Act which seeks to amend on how the leader of opposition is being chosen in the Parliament of Uganda, from being chosen by the leading political party, opposition political party, to being elected by the members of the opposition political parties in Parliament. So the minds joining me today, we are going to be dissecting that issue. Is it a reform? Is it something that they're trying to suppress opposition? What's your take? I will begin from my right hand here. His Excellence, the immediate past Guild President, KIU, His Excellence, are in a prime media to make his view. What do you think about the happenings on that? Do you think, is it a reform? Is it a trying to, with the things the CDF came out to put on air that we are going to elect our leader of opposition? So do you think this is a reform? It is suppressing? It is an accountability issue? What do you think?
Thank you so much, Mr. Onesimus. I will begin on the fact that you talked about the CDF. And we are now on the point of legislation. I think in the near future, we need to have the concept of the rule of law much respected. Because we have 3 arms in the country, and specifically the parliament is for legislation. I want to concur with Honorable Dennis Namara as a legislator. It is his role. He has the right to push any motion as long as he can push for it and they vote for it legally. And I actually appreciate him because as much as we say now people are not following the law, I appreciate him that he is pushing what he wants through legislation, meaning he's not taking the laws into his hands. And into the contents of the motion he's moving, he says he wants the leader of opposition to be voted for by all the members of opposition. And previously, the status quo is that currently, the leader of opposition comes from a party that has the largest numbers of MPs. That is the opposition party. And we recognize that we are in a multi-party dispensation where we have many parties. So in an instance where NUP has the largest number of MPs, it becomes the party to bring the leader of opposition. And it's the status quo is that we cannot tell the modus operandi that they have been using to select that very leader of opposition. What we know, NUP has been bringing all previously FDC or other parties. Let me not use specifically NUP. They have always brought the leader of opposition before Parliament for Speaker to say they have brought the leader of opposition. Here he is. So internally into those parties, we've already seen people, I think in the past we saw Mr. Rumu and others, come out dissatisfied with the modus operandi on how the leader of opposition is selected internally from the party, because we don't see them hold an election to choose that leader of opposition. And I just also another clause in that motion, he's saying that it is for accountability. So that at any time where the law fails his duty, he can actually be removed from powers. Which as a person, I think it is good and I recognize it. Because I think the president can be removed from power. That's Article, yes, by the resolution of the Parliament. Actually, it is by 1/3 of members of the Parliament. That's Article 98. The Speaker himself, in Article 82, he can also be removed from power by resolution passed by members of Parliament. Be it his deputy, the same article gives powers to the Parliament to remove the Deputy Speaker from position. In an instance where those members come with a resolution supported by of course, the reasons to why they are removing them from power. Article 118 of the 1995 Constitution gives the Parliament to censure a minister as long as they have the due reasons for censuring the minister, and they have 2/3 of the members of the Parliament, so they can. So I think to me, it is also good. I recognize it. If it can be applicable to any other person.
So to you, it's a reform.
It is, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. I will allow Ambassador Zumba. Do you think with the current happenings and the timing of the moving of this motion, because we saw the CDF come out to put on his Twitter handle, we are getting a new leader of opposition. Do you think it's the right timing? And to your take, do you think it's a reform or it's something that they are trying to suppress opposition, to choose the people who are going to oppose them? Thank you.
Thank you so much, my good comrade. But I would love to distance myself from the CDF. Because sometimes I doubt what I see on social media, whether it really comes from him. Okay. But the part that now we are discussing the Parliamentary Administration Act.
The Twitter handle is his.
Yeah, me as an individual, I have no proof. So I want to distance myself from it. But at least let's discuss what I'm sure of, that there is a move to amend the Parliamentary Administration Act.
That's let me make a comment. From the things that have been happening since we began this Sanja, and putting out, he came out to endorse the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Boss. We first saw it on his Twitter handle that is endorsing him. So I think we have no doubt that it's his Twitter handle. So from what is happening, because last week he came out and said we are moving a motion to have our new leader of opposition. So from your take, do you think it's a reform? Why is it coming out at a timing like this, when the leader of opposition, the current leader of opposition, has made comments about him? So why is it coming out now? And also, is it a reform or it is an accountability issue, as the member of parliament for Wiaga West, Honorable Namaradens, comes out to say that it's accountability issue?
I appreciate your view on trying to correct me to align with your point. I know you're trying to defend yourself, but the reality of the matter is, this is not unveiling only today. You know, in every state, when the opposition becomes serious on checking government activities, especially when it comes to things like corruption, oversight, and so many other things, you know, the role of opposition is to check the government in power. We have seen there has been some contradictions on the leadership, or the law in parliament, from even the 11th parliament, from the time of the Right Honorable Mathias Vinkuga, the former leader of opposition, especially during the time when opposition members of parliament even went on strike and demonstrated not to attend parliament sittings. And if you're to observe very well, Mpoga even lost his position as a leader of opposition, and that one led to us having a new leader of opposition who came in, Joel Senye. We all know the contribution of Mathias Vinkuga. So it's not news when we hear that now Joel Senye was not given a chance to go to Kalangala and campaign for their candidate, and we hear that there is a move to push for some amendments on how the leader of opposition is elected in parliament. But the main point I want to make, that in a country like Uganda, where we see pressure groups becoming more visible than opposition parties, you don't be surprised to see things like this unveiling. But what I want to appreciate, that at least as much of the people think that we are under dictatorship, at least we are trying to see some rule of law prevailing, whereby a member of parliament like Honorable Dennis Namara can seek leave to bring a motion for trying to initiate such a change. Even what you're talking about, that someone endorsed the Speaker of Parliament. Yes, after endorsing him, we saw the law, the procedures taking place, whereby even the NRM top organ had to sit and also endorse these people in a normal procedure. So what I want to appreciate here is we still observe some essence for the rule of law. And I want you to understand that Uganda is a young state whereby we are still growing. Imagine Uganda got independence in 1960s. But after independence, we have a record that in Uganda we've never had peaceful change of power. Okay? So if you see that there are some steps being taken to make sure at least we make some changes for the good of our country. Because the parliamentary administration, I don't think is only going to focus on the leader of opposition only. We've seen some changes on how the parliament clerk comes in. We've seen some changes on how the staff of parliament are being recruited.
But this particular motion, the Honorable Dennis Namala is trying to introduce, seeks to see to oversee on how the leader of opposition is being chosen.
As long as on an amendment for the Parliamentary Administration Act, anything else can come from within. Because when you talk about the leader of opposition, there's also opposition chief. There's also opposition commissioner, the parliamentary commissioner from the opposition side on these backbencher commissioners. So don't think that the motion is going to come only focusing on leader of opposition, because opposition has those three big posts: the opposition chief whip, the parliament commissioner, and the leader of opposition. And all of them have good budgets. So if someone is touched on something, I don't think it's going to focus only on the leader of opposition. But it's making news because he's the top boss for opposition in parliament. Just like we have the prime minister in parliament who is the lead of government business.
As we shoot this podcast now, the lawyers are in a sit-down strike on what is happening on the rule of law. I've had my senior comrade, Ambassador Pikiumba, comment on the rule of law in this country. The lawyers in this country today, the 26th of June, are on a sit-down strike. They are demanding the rule of law. Counsel Erias Lukwago is in prison. So I would allow my friend and senior comrade lawyer to comment. Do you think this bill that the member of parliament is seeking to introduce to parliament to move a motion, is it targeting Senyonyi, or it's trying to reform the office of the leader of opposition?
Wow, thank you, moderator, my friend Ambassador Onesimus, and the viewers of MJD Build Africa. So once again, my name is Abao Fred, and I take this opportunity to thank you for this theme. The theme is about this motion or the amendment of the Administration of Parliament Act, Cap 257. So and it is whether it's a reform or a political power shift. Mr. Moderator, I would like to first give you the evolution of this act. Then we see whether it's a reform or it's a political power shift. When this government, it's on record, when it came into force in 1986, it went ahead and brought the rule of law. And through that, we had the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. And in that same constitution, we have an Article 87A, which provides for a parliamentary commission. But the enactment of that article, like it did not provide for all the needful requirements that would, in regards to the parliament and its handling, the setup, the functions and everything therein. So the government thought ahead to enact the Administration of Parliament Act, and it was enacted in 1997. I don't know whether you are ready on this act.
I'm not sure, but I've read.
Okay. So from there, we've had several enactments in that very act, the Administration of Parliament Act. For example, we had the first amendment, which was in 2006. It was following the amendments in the Constitution, which brought back the multi-party system.
Can you paint us a picture on the parliament we're going to see when the leader of opposition is?
Yeah, it's where I'm heading, moderator. So from there, under that amendment, then we had to see the establishment of the office of the leader of opposition, whom now we are talking about, the leader of opposition. And then from there, we had also another enactment in 2021. In that enactment, we had, it provided, or it led to evolution of parliamentary trainings, local government leaders trainings. You've been hearing them going to Chimpanzee and other places there. So why, I don't know why people, our viewers or other people, are criticizing this amendment and taking it to the negative side of being more of political power shift. This amendment is coming after the recent elections. So I don't know why people are putting it on the negative side. Yet even before, we've had several enactments in the same act, but people were not criticizing those acts. So to me, this amendment, it is a reform.
A reform.
It's a reform.
Okay, thank you. I'll get back to His Excellency Neda.
I think maybe before you go very far, I wanted to remind my colleague about something, because this debate, it's not just about talking, but I think we're also learning and trying to remind ourselves. So I want my brother to remind him that when the former MP, Honorable Theodore Sechkubo, tried so much to fight corruption in Parliament and even came up with a motion to censor some commissioners in Parliament. Do you remember what happened to him? I've been giving you a brief background. When Matthias Mpuuga led the opposition, it was the first time for me
to see
it, because I saw it by television, that opposition members of Parliament boycotting parliamentary sittings. And I think they also missed their allowances, because if you are not attending sittings, do you really take your allowances? I doubt if they took them by then. I doubt. But from then, we saw there has been a shift. Whoever has tried to talk about corruption and other issues, that's what the opposition alleges, that whoever tries to check on corruption, they also check on him, much as it is a reform. So I want us to agree.
So do you think it's targeting Senyonyi, or it's targeting the office as the leader of opposition office, and how administration is done?
What I believe in as a student of political science, governments always eat their own people. And I've told you, we have emerging political pressure groups which are trying to fill the vacuum of opposition, because opposition now is more divided than united. And I had someone making a statement, the Honorable, I think she's a former member of parliament, Richard Sevamala, the former presidential candidate of the Democratic Party, saying the opposition lost in Kalangala because the leader of opposition failed to unite opposition members. It would have been a joint post for opposition to look for votes for the NUP member of parliament. But in some areas, you don't need to find, there are like 4 opposition members of parliament contesting against NRM. So at some point, it's a reform, but also at some point, you want us to accept it. That is also a political power shift.
So getting back to Mr. Major here, we've seen my comrade has talked about pressure groups emerging. We've seen PLOU affiliated to the CDF, that is Patriotic League of Uganda. It is the one leading on this move, because the member of parliament, they are the ones moving to introduce that motion. They are the ones leading this. And also after what has happened on Twitter and the other people, the former Secretary General of PLOU, she took it and said, give us 2 weeks, we are going to take your orders, sir, as the CDF. So on what is happening, why is it coming out now at this right moment? Do you think the opposition will also be happy with it, or it is something that's, because if the opposition, if all political parties can sit and choose the leader of opposition, you would think the largest number would be happy with it. Why is it against that thing that they are trying to move me? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. One, we have 2 things. There is what we call, I don't want to say, because I'm not sure if it is a political shift, but in an instance where they want to attack a person using the role, it can happen. Because at the time when they want the role back, they can have it the way they want it. I am not sure if it is targeting Drew, and if it is targeting the leader of opposition, then I am not happy with it. But to the other hand, where it becomes a political shift, especially targeting the leader of opposition, one person, I am not sure if it is targeting very sensitive.
So he came out and said it is not targeting Semi. But it's whatever we see on the events happening.
And, why I may not...
On that, moderator, I would like our viewers to know that the leader of opposition is not specifically saying
it's an office.
It's an office.
But
so
coming
they are
out
not
at this
carrying
right
out
moment,
to change or to attack Mr. Honorable Joe Senyoni, but it is to reform.
No, the
Thank
timing
you so
of
much, colleague. I want us to know that this is something which one side can be political.
Yeah, the timing of
which could be a position, but the law is due amendment at any time. I don't want to say, because I'm not sure if it is a political shift, but in an instance where they want to attack a person using the law, it can happen. Because at the time when they want the law back, they can have it the way they want it. I am not sure if it is targeting Drew, and if it is targeting the leader of opposition, then I am not happy with it. But the other side of the reform, I really like the line of the reform and the topic sectors. As long as it is a genuine reform, which even to the odds, when the leader of opposition is not there, because I have had a colleague talk about the former law, although I think he just left office to become a commissioner, he didn't face these ones. And to the money he received, they signed for the money. If you check the handsets, I don't think it was his own make. He received the money. And maybe the mistake he did was to take the largest chunk, maybe, but he received the money. And he didn't steal the money.
on what the honorable member, Honorable Dennis Namala is trying to move is that even independent MPs, we understand, apart from the NRM, the ruling party, the biggest number is the independents. What he's trying to move is that even the independents will have a right to choose the leader of opposition because they are also in opposition.
I have a small point.
First way, let him first deliver that.
So they are trying to say the opposition will sit, the whole political parties in opposition will sit, and even the independents will also sit and vote the leader of opposition. So this drives me to my question. Do you think, because we have seen independents who have come out to openly to say for them they are affiliated to NRM, but now they are the ones who are coming out now to go and vote. They are the ones who the Honorable Namala seeks to come out and vote for the leader of opposition. So that drives me. What kind of parliament are we going to have? Ambassador Jumba,
I think I had a point of information. But this is not the first time they are going to bring such a bill for such a motion in Parliament. In the 11th Parliament, we had a former member of Parliament, Honorable, I think he called Richard Lumu.
Richard Lumu of DP.
When he brought this motion, what happened? I want us to agree
Lack
that
support.
Ugandans will forget very fast. We are like the other quote in history which says they learned nothing and forgot nothing. Okay? What I want to justify in my view, this thing, some extent, it is a political power shift, and some extent, it's a reform. But this is my submission on it. That indeed, if we are to make reforms, is this the burning reform we have?
Yes.
That we need to spend time on it now than other issues we have? I've seen most influential here people talking about infrastructure, talking about land matters, talking about rule of law and other things. I think as Ugandans, we need also to set our priorities. Okay? The leader of opposition or Parliamentary Administration Act may need to be revised and checked, yes. But why at this time, when we have some power struggles between pressure groups and opposition parties? Okay? Why is it that at this time we are having these things happening? I want to take you back. We have had several parliament amendments. For example, if I to remember, we removed the term limits, and I don't know who had even initiated the term limits. But one most influential person
that had put them on.
Yes,
Because
yes.
we are in the
Yes, I want to take you back so that you can pick a leaf. I had one big government person, who is even now, up to now, still in a very influential position, say that after the current president, I think we need to initiate again term limits. So when Ugandans see that during this time, when we even see that the leader of this opposition party is outside the country, at the same time, when opposition is being tackled, say that can we make a reform or amendments on how the leader of parliament is chosen, well, it raises pressures. So to me as an individual, my humble appeal is, I wish not at this time we handle this matter. If we abandoned it in the 11th parliament, when Lumu brought it, it will really look like an attack or a nope as a party. Let me put it straight. And I know the leader we have in Uganda today is a very good scholar on political science.
The Honorable is moving the motion. He came out here and said the bill is not targeting Honorable Senyoni. It is an accountability issue. But to our discussions now, we came to realize, on the other hand, it could be accountability. On the other hand, it is a political power shift. Now, to what we are going to now to look at, the flow of events has happened. This drives me to the rule of law champion. We've had the Council Lukwago brought into court and denied bail because after 24 hours he was denied bail. What is the current of the state of the rule of law in our country? How do you see things as you, as a lawyer? And what is happening, the abductions, the arrests, the illegal arrests as they call them, but what do you think about them and how do you see?
Okay, thank you, Ambassador. On that point, no, in Uganda we are having different types of people. Number one, we have the army. And actually, every type of people, they have their own way how they handle and like calculate their own things. Now, you cannot compare the civilians and the army. and you put them on the same footing, like to handle matters in the same way.
But now, the army is supposed to serve the people.
Yes.
See, we are not supposed to. We cannot compare them. So why is it now trying to influence the people they are trying to serve? Why is it the army is influencing with the opinions of the people?
Thank you very much, moderator. Let's say that you are in your house and you suspect something in a due happening. What can you do if you are the owner of the house?
Or take action.
Thank you very much. So, the UPDF and its way of making things, if they suspect something to be soon happening, they have to also take action. So personally, I cannot criticize the army for arresting or detaining someone, but the query is, has that person gained?
But it's on record, the council Erias Lukwago was trying to serve the CDF, and that's where what came out for him, and he said, you can't serve me.
You know, one of our great generals here said that we should leave the matters of the generals to the generals. Because now,
but now
according to
it comes out your side on a person who is practicing law, who is a lawyer.
That's why I'm heading.
Is it a state you would want to wake up to?
You know, for us, we take things on the front page, and we bought it that he was going to serve. But behind the scenes, if you follow the matter deeper, you find that there was other intentions behind and before. You understand me, moderator? So if it is like on the way it is on the front page, in the eyes of the law, it's totally wrong, because it is his duty to represent his client, and he was serving the CDF on behalf of the client and on behalf of the court. So he was in the line of his duties as a lawyer. But then, according to the facts that are behind the scenes, which most of our people in the general public are not knowing,
but
it was
be accountable
otherwise
to the people. You should come to light and tell them that this is.
No, some matters are not for everyone to know.
Okay.
They have to be kept as secrets.
I think let me remind colleagues here. I don't know why we were trying so much to debate the CDF. At least we have to talk about that person. Let's talk about him in the capacity of senior presidential advisor on special operations. Yeah. He's not just a CDF.
Yes.
And I think he acts at different stages using different titles. So when we are discussing a CDF, really, when you talk about that, I think, Council, I do not agree with you. But whatever this gentleman has been doing to help us combat corruption and tackle some other issues, I think, Mr. President, he has been doing it as a special presidential advisor, because he has that duty and he has to execute it as well. But whenever people are discussing about him, they only talk about CDF. The role and responsibilities of the CDF, they are very well outlined within our constitution. They are clear. But when it comes to the special presidential advisor on special operations, I think he's also not wrong at all.
So at the start of this week, this drives me. At the start of this week, we had a former constitutional minister Martha Karua, the lawyer to the former presidential aspirant, Dr. Kanerugaba, who was trying to make his way to this country, and he has denied the entry. So what do you think as lawyers? Because I think as lawyers, they have the body that provides you as East Africans that you can even practice law in Kenya, in Uganda, and Rwanda. So what is the state of the law we are having, the rule of law we are having? His Excellency Mayor, you can answer that.
Thanks so much, moderator. I think let me first talk about what the Learning Com FG has said. I think if this is the house, UPDF does not own more. UPDF is a force responsible for protecting the house. Yes, it doesn't own the house. The house.
Now, what if it detects that something is soon happening?
I am coming to that point. Because the house remains to Uganda. Uganda is for Uganda, and UPDF is a force to protect Uganda. And Uganda was there before UPDF. UPDF came later. So we have what we call rights. we have actually the most important rights are two. We have economic rights and social rights. If it is not an economic and a social right, matters of national security prevail. In an instance where security senses something, it is okay for it to act. But also in an instance where it acts on pretense of sensing something, it is not good fair. At times we rush to get away from the truth and we go to facts. Well, to the rule of law, I think we have patches in the law. Even you asked him about the strike. Personally, I may say the strike is good, but not the direction where it is at the moment. Because in rule of law, in the country in Uganda, we have a backlog of cases in courts of laws. We have very many ordinary Ugandans who are behind bars for either nothing, for either being mistaken for other things, but they are there, and they haven't been hard to. And that divides Article 28, a fair to a right hearing. Why does the strike only come when one of them is ill?
Because they are suffering for their colleague. They are hurt because their colleague
Exactly.
is
Thank you. Is it what
Are
the
they
law
not
says?
optimists? Yeah.
The law should not be applied selectively. If it is the law, let all ordinary citizens be put in the same category and fought for, not only coming out to fight when one of them
And he was caught on duty because he was trying to do his legal matter.
well, because even those who are behind the bars, they were also either caught on duty or even found in their homes.
Okay.
So this is a matter for all ordinary citizens of the country. It shouldn't be selectively applied only when they touch on Lukwago or when they touch on another person. Then the issue of senior counsel Martha Karua, I think it also remains an issue of the national security. In an instance, because she was not alone while she was coming to the country, so why is it that the president of the Law Society, the East African Law Society, was allowed to come in, and for her she was stopped? And mind you, 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 and then they opt to use their own lawyers in the country until they sort the issue. Maybe the issue would be the kind of handling her while she was being deported, because she claims she was a bit detained, which also was necessary, because the kind of detention, they don't interrogate you from the public. They take you to a separate place, unless if she was maybe tortured or touched badly, but it is necessary in immigration. They don't interrogate you from the public space. They will take you somewhere. And she didn't spend there many hours. Maybe we could disagree on retaining her phones, because she claims that her phones are still in the country. And we also learn how to be moral. Uganda is a sovereign state. You see, when she went back, the words she was using, I don't also find them appreciative. If it is the law and you also break the law, wrongs cannot make a right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. This takes me to Ambassador Jumba, the international relations specialist now. What stands in between those two countries? Does our relationship fade, or is still strong with our fellow East African country, Kenya? Because their former constitutional minister was deported, denied access in the country. We have a cooperation as a East African community, free access to every East African country as long as you have a passport and an ID. So, what stands in between us and Kenya? Because we see a senior citizen like that one being deported back. What does it communicate to the real common person back there?
I think when we go to history, this is not the first time Uganda is having political differences with Kenya. And indeed, I think we as citizens, we have never taken it personal. When I talk of citizens, I need Kenyans and Ugandans. At some point, I think someone wanted to attack Kenya, and he said in few minutes he would be in Kenya. And when we go to history, some leaders thought that the boundaries were demarcated wrongly and that part of Kenya was for Uganda. That one is also a former president, I hear, that he also wanted to attack Kenya at some point. But what you should understand in this is that as these events are unfolding, you should remember that at the end of the 11th Parliament, we had the Sovereignty Protection Bill, which was passed, and now we think it's an act. It clearly gives us an image of all what is happening today. If we had followed history or events which have happened, the former big figure in opposition, Dr. Kizza Besigye, who is in jail, it's alleged that he was arrested when he was in Kenya, going to attend a book launch for, I think, Martha Karua, right?
Yeah, it was from Martha Karua.
And it's where things started unfolding that he had a plot of doing something, some good leaders in Uganda here. And he's still in prison up to date on matters related to treason case, whereby Senior Counsel Martha Karua has been the lead counsel of his team. Why am I bringing this history? I want us to understand things and don't just start from A and start blaming individuals or parties. And we remember very well what happened before this senior counsel got a practicing certificate in Uganda. We all remember what happened.
So
and
in
in
this
this case,
our relationship now with the Law Society and the county.
can I drive my point?
Yeah.
And in this case, Martha Karua was not representing Erias Lukwago at any point.
But he's a colleague.
I'm unfolding face. We all agree that he's a colleague. She's a colleague, yes. But in the same case that Lukwago was arrested on a case which is almost related to the case of Besigye, because it is I think my colleague will talk about it very well. I don't want to quote the law, did some good reasons. But it's normal for someone to be declared a person non grata to any state, as long as the reasons are valid. And if the reasons are not valid, Martha Karua, she comes from a country which is a member of the East African community, whereby we have so many avenues which can be used to appeal on her case. So I feel like what my colleague was saying, that if there is something wrong, Martha Karua, the person who was a running mate for a presidential candidate, I don't think she could have handled matters the way how she's handling them now. There is still hope that we can amend. Anywhere where there is a leakage, it can be amended. Where there is a mistake, it can be corrected, because Kenya is part of East Africa. And when you look at Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, these are the mothers of the East African community. And we're looking forward to advance this regional cooperation. So I have a feeling that this cannot affect us, because there is much which we share in common. And what you should also remember that Martha Karua in Kenya comes from the opposition side of government. And in Uganda, the people she was defending are also on the opposition side of government. So if the government is squeezed, what do you think is going to use? It is going to use the apparatus. No, what I'm trying to mean is that government will always try to use all windows that are available to defend itself. That is the role of the state. And I feel like the state, on deporting Martha Karua or declaring her non-personal brother, it felt like it can no longer handle her, because she's defending people who are alleged to be a threat to the national security.
Okay. So my good friend, senior counsel, do you think now, are we going so bad on the rule of law, or are we still do this? Should our viewers still have hope in the rule of law as a lawyer? What do you think on the events happening?
Okay, on the events happening in Uganda right now, yeah, people should have hope that Uganda is still having the rule of law. Not that,
So with what is happening, Counsel Lukwago being arrested and charged, and the things they are charging him for, that.
But why Counsel Lukwago? I mean, is he the first victim in the country?
This was my former question.
Because he was arrested on duty.
Big question.
He was arrested with someone who is trying. It's like when a teacher, other teachers are there, but someone is arrested because he's teaching students. You understand?
Our beloved moderator, I want us to have a fair, balanced discussion on this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want us to spread hate outside there.
It's just like
The
facts.
truth is, many people have been arrested. And when you're arrested, it does not mean that you're a wrong person. Until you're convicted, that is when you can say you're wrong person.
Okay.
So if the government feel there is some things which Council Lukwago and his team have to address to the state or the government, let us allow the due process take place and not make it a subject of debate.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
think
Senior Counsel,
the only issue should have been there maybe if he was tortured, but an arrest is
But he wasn't
he
touched.
can't be arrested.
So, Senior Counsel, you can just make a point. Should we still have hopes in a
Yeah, totally. And definitely we should have hopes that Uganda still have the rule of law. Because this time now we are seeing just a recent act you talked about that lawyers are now rioting and now they have put down the tools.
It's a sit-down strike.
Yeah. So it also reflects that Uganda, we still have that room for rule of law. Because in a dictatorship government, you have no room. Let's agree. You
Okay.
can't have that
As
room.
we conclude, we've seen the president appoint acting ministers on those positions of ministers that were previously previously appointed, but they were found with dual citizenship. So, I will allow everyone to give a conclusive remark. Is it a fate for those members with dual citizenship? Because we've seen the president come out now to appoint acting ministers. Is it a fate, or it is a way now to go that the president has taken action? So give conclusive remarks and also comment on that.
Thank you so much, moderator. Personally, I cannot say it is a fact. It is only the president who has found us. It is so. But my opinion is that if something is legal, it must be legal. Unless otherwise, if they don't denounce their citizenship from other countries, why could they become ministers? Because it is by law that if you have dual citizenship or multiple citizenship, you cannot become a minister, neither become a president or a speaker. So I don't think they are special in that regard. It is only when they are confirmed to denounce their citizenship that they will become ministers. And my advice also to Ugandans, it could be like, let the law take its due course. I don't find it maybe relevant for us to go into graves and whatsoever, develop hate on other tribes. It is not. If it is a personal issue of view or multiple citizenship, let it be legally handled, regardless of other, let's not involve tribes. Let it take its legal due course. And maybe my shorting part, my conclusive words to Ugandans, it is let's all remain united. If it is the rule of law, let it not apply selectively. Let it be something which is pivotal to the entire country. Because if we keep saying here there is a hump and we don't correct it, today it is me, tomorrow it can be you. Where you disagree with the country, I don't know what the future holds. I could at one time disagree with the country or the government. Then if we don't defend our rights and the rule of law, it could be ours next. To our MPs who are in parliament, while you're making laws there, think about people who are suffering also. I don't say they are not right to push that motion. It's their right. You can push any right you want, but also think about the people who are suffering behind. And to the people who are suffering behind, literally somewhere we also need to shake up. It is only when we have the conscience of voting that we shall have good leaders. If not, then we shall always have different patches.
Allow me to well
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
Thank you for the conclusive remark. Ambassador Diens, as someone who is skilled in international relations, is it a fate for the MPs that with your citizenship, because we've seen the president come out now to appoint acting ministers? Is it a fate? It's a blessing for them to follow the due process and come out cleaner.
Thank you so much, moderator. But I think you have asked me a question which has a clear answer that the president has appointed acting ministers.
So what lies in between for those people who were appointed and for sign?
I think, to my side, I feel since they are acting ministers, the president has given a room for a due legal process to take place. Because if he would have made a substantive decision, then he would have appointed substantive ministers in those positions, not picking their acting ministers. And then apart from that, I feel also he was trying to feel a vacuum that could have been in those institutions for work to continue moving normally than being put on hold just because some offices are vacant. I want us to appreciate the president, at least he managed to take that initiative and appreciate it. That's a positive thing. Because if you'd have appointed a full minister for those positions, my friend, others could have said it's now a fate for these people, but these are acting. And it only apply to those ones with dual or multiple citizenship, but we have seen it also affecting one of the members of his family, who is the first lady. So is it also a fate for the first lady? No. As much as we have challenges, Uganda was there before us, Uganda is there when we are here, and Uganda will be there when we are not here. I think the president is trying to put Uganda first more than anything else.
Thank you. Impressive remarks. Led there.
I think maybe to finish on the thought which he had for the leader of opposition, the people bringing the motion, they are talking about checking accountability and corruption. I have a feeling, I wish Uganda can also copy the Kenya style, that if you are to be appointed to the highest office, like being a minister, leader of opposition, it's good publicly to declare your wealth.
Yeah.
Okay? And also get your track record very well.
But they have it on record that the IGD called the members called the public officer to declare.
Do we do it publicly here? Really, no. I think there's something missing. Suppose I was following what was happening in Kenya previously when this cabinet was coming in. People could come publicly and declare, and even be questioned when even cameras are around.
Oh.
So I have a feeling this one will not raise questions on why has Seminary accumulated this, why has John accumulated this when he's a leader of operation, this and that. Okay. So as much as they're trying to make amendments, they should also address other issues that have not been addressed in some previous year. Thank you so much.
Okay. Senior Counsel, you comment on the appointing of acting ministers and the fate what lies in between for those ones who are appointed and now they are pushed back, and your conclusive remarks.
Okay. Thank you, Ambassador Onesmus. On that issue, the appointed ministers, personally, I would not like the law to be bent. Yeah, the law shouldn't be bent.
Law now is the
yeah, true. The rule of law should take precedent. Yeah, because if the law says that for a person to be appointed as a minister, has to be a citizen of Uganda, not holding other citizenships for other countries. Let it be that. Because personally, I was also affected because my former MP was also appointed as a minister, but she was holding other
citizenship.
True. So, Honorable Shatsi Shemi, my former MP. So, the law shouldn't be bent. But the good thing, they gave them a room to denounce.
To collect their mistakes.
Exactly. So, let them do the right thing in the right time.
Conclusive remarks?
My conclusive remarks on today's theme, moderator and our viewers, I would like to give you a short story. There was a man who had his house, but that man was always disturbed by rats. Do you know rats?
Rats.
Yeah. So, on a specific day, he bought a trap to kill the rat. The rat was totally disturbing him. And then, when the rat discovered that now this man has set a trap to kill me, the trap informed the hen that please come and help me. We disconnected this trap.
The rat informed
the hen. But then the hen said, no, personally, I don't go inside the room. Even when I go there, they chase me, go. Then the rat said, no, let me tell the goat. The rat told the goat, please come help me. We disconnect this trap. It will affect us all. Then the goat said, no, for me, I've never even entered in the room. Where will it find me? The rat told the cow, please come and help me. We disconnect this trap. The cow said, I can't even, my size can't even enter in the room. So where will it find me to affect me? Then the man, actually the rat, tried to get assistance. Then after realizing that now it has no any other option, said, okay, now my movements are going to be limited. I won't reach that step. I won't reach that side where the trap is. Then, in a certain night, there was a snake. When a snake was moving, it by accidentally got trapped by the trap. And then when a man was coming to see whether the rat was trapped and killed, accidentally the snake bit the man. And definitely the man was rushed to the hospital, but then unfortunately the man died. So when the man died, the rat was seeing, and all other creatures were also seeing, the hen, the goat, and the cow. But then on the first day the mourners came. No, there are always few. They said, bring the hen. Let's kill the hen so that we can serve these mourners. The hen was killed. And then the following day, the mourners were starting to increase. They said, now, let's kill the goat. It will be enough. The goat was put down. And then on the burial day, they said, now you see the mourners are many. Let's kill the other cow. Now we sort them out. The cow was put down. So what does it reflect? That if you don't correct some things on their earliest stage, you might think that they cannot affect you personally, but at a later stage, they will end up affecting you personally. Now, where is my point? We see this bill or this motion has been brought. You know, at this time, you are not in parliament, maybe you are not in opposition, but then at a certain time T, you might find yourself in opposition or in being an independent MP, but you have no right to voting in the leader of opposition. You have no right, like you cannot even. So what am I saying? This bill is helping us all.
Okay.
We should give hands to Honorable Dennis.
Okay.
And support him. Let this bill be passed, because it will help us so that one day my comrade is not trapped, and then on the following day my senior ambassador is trapped again.
Okay,
and then on the last day I am taken.
So ambassadors don't engage in politics.
So let's support Honorable Dennis, and I urge the Parliament to also pass this bill, because it will help us all.
Thank you, Senior Counsel.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, our viewers. Thank you for joining us today. But please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. More is coming. Thank you for joining us today.